Thinking of moving to Florida? Before you pack your bags, you need to know where hurricanes hit the hardest. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 most dangerous places in Florida for hurricanes, based on historical landfalls, storm surge risk, and FEMA data. Stay till the end. Number 1 might surprise you. And if you're considering a move to the Sunshine State, hit that subscribe button. I post Florida real estate content and valuable insights every single week. Starting us off at number 10 is Daytona Beach, known for beaches and racing, but also a target for East Coast storms. Hurricane Matthew in 2016 caused $1.5 billion in damage here, yet was only a Category 3 hurricane. The high coastal population and older buildings add to the risk. Since much of Daytona Beach is near sea level, it makes it highly prone to storm surge flooding, beach erosion and inland flooding from rain. Sarasota comes in at number 9. Locals often call it the Lucky Coast. But Hurricane Helene and Milton in 2024 reminded us how vulnerable it really is. Low-lying barrier islands and rapid population growth make it a storm surge hotspot. Barrier islands like Siesta Key, Longboat Key, and Lido Key. These are prime targets for storm surge. Many of these areas come under mandatory evacuation days before a hurricane because riding it out there is a big mistake. Unless you're Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump, ready to make your peace with a higher power while strapped to a mast, it's just not worth the gamble. Number 8 is Jacksonville. Now Jacksonville may be far north, almost practically in Georgia, but don't let that fool you. Hurricane Irma caused historic flooding here in 2017, thanks to the city's vast river system. Hurricane Irma landed on the Gulf side, but its counterclockwise winds drove a surge directly into Jacksonville, inundating St. Johns River. Many residents don't evacuate, assuming they're safe, and that makes it even riskier. Number 7 is Tampa Bay, and it hasn't had a direct hit in over 100 years. That's exactly why experts call it a disaster waiting to happen. Shallow bay plus millions of residents equals catastrophic surge if a storm hits head-on. The unique shape of Tampa Bay itself, a large, relatively shallow body of water, can act like a massive scoop, funneling storm surge right into the city and surrounding communities, many of which are low-lying flood zones and densely populated with older homes. Millions of people could be affected if it experiences a direct hit by a Category 4 or 5. Number 6, Key West is stunning, but it's isolated and exposed. With limited evacuation routes and nowhere to hide, storms like Irma show how quickly the area can become dangerous. Hurricane Irma in 2017 thrashed the Keys, causing widespread damage to the region. The more isolated you are, the more prepared you better be once the storm comes. Number 5 is Cape Coral and Fort Myers. This is honestly one of Florida's fastest growing areas. And, well, one of its most exposed. Cape Coral and Fort Myers were devastated by Hurricane Ian, which caused over $112 billion in damage. It was actually the most costly hurricane in the last 30 years in Florida. The low elevation and all those canals make it especially risky. Its beautiful barrier islands like Fort Myers Beach and Sanibel were just decimated by Hurricane Ian in 2022, and they're still trying to rebuild. It's a pretty sober tale of what's possible when the worst-case scenario happens. There were 72 confirmed deaths in Lee County, which really underscores just how important it is to evacuate when you're on a barrier island or key. Number 4 is the Florida Panhandle. Gulf storms like Sally and Ivan, they tend to hit hard and fast. Pensacola's rural areas make recovery a lot slower, and the sandy soil means you see a ton of damage from downed trees and power lines. Hurricane Michael back in 2018, a Category 5, really exposed just how catastrophic the wind and storm surge can be in this region. The Panhandle also has pretty limited barrier island protection from a storm, so it bears the full brunt of a storm surge. Coming in at number 3 is Miami. With over 6 million people and some vulnerable infrastructure, it's a real hurricane hotspot. Hurricane Andrew in 1992 changed building codes forever throughout the state of Florida. Hurricane Andrew drove structure code reforms and brought in new standards for roofs, windows, doors, walls, and even the minimum elevation of homes. Number 2 is Naples and Marco Island, luxurious but low-lying. 2 major hurricanes in 5 years hit this area hard. With so much high-value real estate near sea level, it's honestly one of the costliest zones for storm damage. 5 condo complexes on the beach in Naples were damaged so badly that they were sold off to be bulldozed and redeveloped. This happened with an 8-foot surge in Naples, while Fort Myers Beach received a 13-foot surge. And the #1 most dangerous spot, this is where you should have your insurance documents completed well before June 1st and the start of hurricane season. Port Charlotte and Punta Gorda sit along the narrow waters of Charlotte Harbor, where incoming storm surge can funnel inland with devastating force. Their location on Florida's Gulf Coast places them directly in the path of hurricanes that often intensify rapidly over warm waters. Port Charlotte and Punta Gorda. Both Hurricane Charlie and Ian made direct hits here. Older infrastructure and proximity to Charlotte Harbor make this area the top danger zone for hurricanes in Florida. So, should you still move to Florida? Florida is an incredible place to live, to invest, to build a life, and I absolutely love it here. Plenty of areas are safe, but awareness and knowledge are key. Know the flood zones, elevations of home, insurance details, and be mindful of what could happen in the worst-case scenario, because you shouldn't just use wishful thinking when the stakes are this high. Please hit that like button if you found this helpful and subscribe for more Florida real estate insights, market updates, and tips. Comment below. Was there a city that surprised you the most? What would be #1 on your list?